guys, thanks for stopping back by the channel and checking out another episode of Hi-Ho Silver. If you like relics, all kinds of different relics, this is the video for you. Let's check it out.
I got a cool signal here and saw a little something shiny, and I think I know what that is. Found quite a few of those, and that is a Scout neckerchief slide. I would say that's a Cub Scout, but I'm not familiar enough with it to know. But I like those a lot. I think they're very cool. Anyway, hopefully it cleans up nicely, and I'll identify it exactly and show you when it's cleaned up. So I had a repeatable signal here, but it was high 30s, which is not usually a great target for me. And looks like I have a little half of a locket. Don't think it's any precious metal, but might have had a picture or something inside before. Maybe said I love you or something. Boy, it's shining up pretty nice. I don't think it's silver, but if it's anything precious, we'll show you a better look at it. Okay, this is an interesting signal. I thought I had a penny or a small coin, and turns out it is an eagle. Ornamental. Might have been the top of a small, flagstaff or some other kind of thing. But that's pretty cool. Hope it cleans up real nice. Those high soft signals. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Something in that sidewall there. Yeah, so it was giving me an odd signal. It's a little cheapo kind of a bell. I don't think it's anything modern, but if it's cooler, I can identify it clearly. I'll clean it. Had a high 20s signal on this one. It's almost always a piece of a pull tab, but in this case, that is a little button. It's a little two-piece button. Can't see it real clearly, but looks like there could be some writing on it. Let's take a look. I don't see any writing, but it's an old 4-hole button. I thought it was a 2-piece button, but it looks like it's a 4-hole button. I'm not sure what was on that side. Okay, had a choppy signal here, and turns out we have a small pendant. Looks like a religious pendant. Don't suspect that it's a precious metal, but that's very cool. We'll clean it up and see if we can identify it. Always like to get those. Okay, had quite an iffy signal. I could barely track it down. Finally got it out of the hole there, and I'm not sure if that might be an old school ring. Just not real sure. Let me clean that up and see if I can see if I can figure that out. Seen a few of these little copper bands where I thought they had a bit of utility, but I think that actually might be a ring. It's cleaning up a little bit, and it's got a little kind of a hole pattern, but I do see, I don't know if I just broke that or exactly what, so I'm gonna be a little tender with it and clean it up when we get back. And it's not likely to be anything but just either a little piece of history or costume history, but still cool to find. So I had another, penny-like signal, and got this one out of the ground. I don't know exactly what I've got here. Doesn't have the white patina of the mini balls that I've found in the past, but boy, that concave shape, and it's obviously lead. Boy, I'll bet you that's Civil War era for sure. Man, you just don't know what you're gonna find. That is very cool, and I sure hope I can identify it exactly. Okay, had another iffy penny signal, and we have our old friend, the dog tag. Love the dog tags. We'll clean it up. I doubt if it's particularly old. Okay, had a real tiny signal. Thought it might have been a nickel, but turns out it's a little small 2-hole button. It's got a little anchor on there, so that may be something cool. I think it's probably, yeah, it's the front of a 2-piece button, but I like the old buttons. Yeah, I had another basically a penny signal, low 40s, and no penny, but an old key, likely a house key. So that's my old pal. So I had a low 20 signal here, and I'm not sure what I've got. Normally that's a piece of aluminum trash, maybe sometimes a nickel, but that's got a little piece of something coming off of it, and it's so dark and my eyesight's bad enough I can't quite tell what it is, so we're going to clean it up and take a look. So it turns out this pin actually has an interesting history. It goes all the way back to the Revolutionary War, and the Hessians were effectively German mercenaries or German auxiliary forces hired by the British to help them in the American Revolution. So I have no idea whether this pin is authentic. Might be a replica, but still a very interesting history. You never know what you're going to find. Low 50s. I bet you we got another quarter. That looks bigger than a quarter. Yeah, I think that's a dollar coin. Pretty sure. It might be a Sacagawea, but okay. Had a signal, thought it probably was a penny. You can see here by that bright scratch, I've kissed it with my shovel. but that is for sure a dog tag. Like the dog tags. Pretty high signal here, and this came out. Can't tell if it's the, yeah, it's an old wristwatch. Doubt if there's anything special about it, but it's cool to find the old watch parts, and that's a whole face there, so very cool. Okay, had a real junky signal here, and it's because it's kind of a piece of junk, but it is a lock assembly, key assembly out of a door lock. Okay, had a really strong signal. Thought it might be a coin, and it looks like we've got something different. Maybe a token. Certainly big and round, but it's not heavy enough, I don't believe, to be a coin. It's got some sort of writing on it, so let's get that cleaned off and see if we can't identify it. Get the sunlight here. Well, just not sure. There's some writing on it, but I think I'm just going to have to get it cleaned up properly. But I believe we're going to find out. That's a cool big old token. So be right back with exactly what it is.
So this token is a cool piece of American history. Over 100 years ago, in the early 1900s, Mentor and Rosenblum had a chain of men's clothing stores, and part of their attraction was clothing on credit. But this particular token is local to the Kansas City area, and it was for $1 off for $10 purchase.
How you doing? Well, that was a bit of an elusive target, and I don't think that's a dog tag. That was ringing up in the range of a silver dime, but it's like a different kind of a tag, maybe a utility tag of some variety. So we'll clean it off and see what we got. Nope, that looks like it might be a dog tag. How about that? It's like it says it expires 1998. Pet license. Another dog tag. Okay, sorry for the wind noise. Got a real faint signal there, and I think this might be one of those play money dimes, but it was pretty creased there. I think I may have whacked it with my shovel. Anyway, we'll clean it up, see what we got. Had a pretty high signal here. It was junky, but it was pretty high. And out comes a lock. Doesn't seem particularly old, but keys and locks, I love. Here's another vintage find. Rang up like a quarter, 50-cent piece, something like that. It's not very heavy, so I don't think there's anything in it, but sometimes I like to look at them see if there's quarters in them. But anyway, that's an old woman's compact, and that one's in remarkably good shape altogether. And I believe I can see some writing across the top of it there. And so we'll identify it properly and give you a good look. Okay, had a low 30 signal, which is normally some trash, but I pulled this out and recognized the shape as old dog tag. So let's get that cleaned up and see what the year is. That shape is likely pretty old. Okay, looks like we have Kansas City dog tag. Expires May 31st, 1950. Very cool. PC yesteryear. Okay, another really junky surface signal here. It was just screaming out, but this is an old keyhole for a skeleton key. Oh, look how beautiful that is. Wow, very cool. Feels brass, and boy, that's definitely a different era, but that should clean up very nicely. Very cool. You just don't know what you're going to find. Okay, had a junky 30 signal here, and I've got myself another key. Pretty odd shape on this one, so hopefully we can identify it and get a year off of it. Pretty cool. Got a nice soft 47 here. And a lot of interesting stuff in this yard, but so far no silver coins. Oh boy, that's right on 47. Wouldn't it be cool to break that? Oh no, I see it. That's not a silver coin. It could be another one of our trade tokens, though. There's definitely a lot of writing on that one. How cool is that? Yeah, that's what we have there for sure. That's going to be another old trade token that says dealers and gives them instructions there on the back. So I've seen these for soap and other things, so we'll clean it up proper and give you a good look. How cool. And then right over here we had a signal in the 30s, and that looks to me like a lipstick tube. So this has been a fun yard for old relics for sure. Hopefully we can clean that up enough to identify it. Very cool.
One of the really fun parts of treasure hunting is bringing these old relics back to life, whether it's tokens or cosmetics or dog tags or keys or all the other cool stuff we dig up. It Really shows a snapshot of yesteryear, a little bit what life was like 100 years ago. Things were manufactured quite a bit differently back then, and they really hold up under the ground pretty well. So, in many of the permissions that I have or the neighborhoods I hunt in, we're walking around on 100 years of history. It's right under our feet. It's so cool.
Hey, hey, hey. Okay, we got a pinning signal, and this time it was actually a penny. And would you look here, I started to put it in my pouch, and I'll be darned if that is not an Indian head penny. How about that? Let's take a look at this guy. Wow, 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 wow. It's a pretty rare find around here, but that is so cool. Oh yeah, look at that green patina come through there. Oh my gosh. Hello, sweetheart. Welcome back. Yeah, I can't quite tell the date on it just yet. Okay, it's a 1907. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but wow, what a cool way to start the day. 1907 Indian head penny. That thing could have been in the ground for 120 years. Wow. Love it. Welcome back, sweetheart. Hi ho, silver. Okay, had a goofy 20s signal here, 20s, low 30s, and you can see why it was all goofing all around, because it's a set of keys. And looks like probably it's both car keys and house key, but anyway, just never know what you're gonna find. All right, had another faint signal here, and by the shape of it and the lightness, I'm pretty confident that's a dog tag. So we'll clean it up and get the ear off of it and see what we're talking about. Oh, that is not a dog tag. Look at that. I think that is a good luck token, I believe. No, it's a trade token. That's what that is. How cool is that? We're going to clean that up proper and show it to you. But this is an old trade token, and it's basically what we would think of as a coupon, but you could present this to a participating proprietor and get you a free bar of soap or some other kind of thing. So anyway, that is really cool. Okay, had a real shallow high signal, and this is the 1/2 of a woman's compact. This looks like it's the half that had a little mirror on the inside of it, but we'll clean it up, and if it's cool, got a cool marking on it, we'll show it to you. Okay, we got another one here. I think this one actually is a dog tag, but let's just take a look. It looks like what's left of the collar. Yeah, it's definitely a dog tag. Okay, had a beautiful signal here, mid to high 40s, and I thought it might be a surface dime, but that is actually a tiny little spoon bowl, and probably kid's spoon or something like that, but I'll clean it up. It's too light to be silver, but they're fun to find. Okay, had a faint 42, 43. Dug this guy out, and if you can see, this whole area here is where a tree used to be. So this is kind of recessed. I was getting a very, very faint signal. Well, I could be wrong, but I think I got another Indian head. Man, 2 in 1 day. Well, let's hope that's what that is. Oh my, look at that. It says 1 cent right there. So cool. Man. This is definitely an Indian head. You can begin to see it emerge there. And that says, looks to me like it says 1903. $1903 Indian head penny. Boy, she is in great condition too. Welcome back, sweetheart. You've been down there for 120 years. That is awesome.
What a fun hobby this is. Here I am just swinging along somebody's front yard. Find 3 objects, 2 coins, and a token. And they're all well over 100 years old, probably around 120 years old. So it's just a lot of fun, and I don't tire of that easily.
Junky. Mid-30s signal. And I have got yet another dog tag. You can even see some of the writing on there already. Not sure what year we've got, but it's probably a relatively old one, so we'll clean it up and show you the date on it. I believe it says 1948. Okay, we're another really screaming signal, very bouncy, right shallow. Oh yeah, that's our old friend. Gosh, I've gotten a couple hundred of these over time. Old brass fitting for a hose. So they come in all different shapes and sizes. Some guys actually collect these. Okay, this is ringing up nice and high. It's quite shallow. It's rocky here with some gravel. It's quite high. Look at this. Check this out. That looks like the top of a spoon or a fork. That is definitely the top of an old fork. Let's clean it up properly and see what we got. This is a very small fork, and it just doesn't feel like it's heavy enough to me to be anything but silver plated. Got a beautiful design on it. It's actually quite fragile. So hopefully there's enough identifiers on the stem there that I can get a really good, accurate identification. Feel interesting. I hope to show it to you and brag. Crazy. Seen better days for sure. Okay, had a dead-on penny signal here, and that's not a penny. That's a key. Okay, this was a in the 47 range, which certainly would be in a coin or a precious metal range. Not sure what I have here. It's too heavy to be a dog tag. My darn squirt bottle's not working as good as it could. But this is interesting. I don't know what this is, but it's almost like a badge or something. It's got a little spot there on the top for part of a pendant or something. It's, as I'm cleaning it, it looks a little bit more modern than I was hoping, but at any rate, we'll clean it up completely and see what in the world we have. Okay, this is pretty cool. Had a 38 signal. And that's usually one of those crusty pennies, but this is not. This is a button. Beautiful, ornate button. Doesn't look particularly antique, but hopefully I'll be able to identify that from the stamp on the back and the design. So very cool. You never know what you're going to find.
Hey guys, thanks so much for hanging in there and making it to the end of another episode of Hi-Ho Silver. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's see if Cooper knows what to do with those fish. Say, Coopy, what do we do?
Like, subscribe, and hit the notification.
Oh, yeah. But what do we do with the fish?
Kiss them and throw them back.
You are the man.